Let's all look bad, Jesse, with your everyday's Valentine's Day shit. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Keyboard Warriors. My name is Eddie Law. That's Fred Kirby. That's Jesse Rubakava. And you guys haven't seen this young, handsome fella in a long time, Mr. Max Reed. How are you, sir?
I'm all good, Pat. How you doing?
Pretty good, pretty good. All right, so we have a lot to talk about, of course. Actually, it's like a decent amount, but let's talk. You know what? Let's go with what Fred wanted to talk about first, because actually this is like the best idea we have, because this last weekend was okay at best. CM Punk against Floyd Mayweather. That's like a thought right now. That's a legit thought. First of all, people were like, "Oh, CM Punk against Mike Jackson, whatever, the journalist, right?"
Yeah.
All right, cool, whatever. I think Mike Jackson will fuck them up. That being said, I think CM Punk has a chance against Floyd Mayweather. Listen. If he dives, like if he like starts off on all fours and can't get punched in the face, right? Or kicked or anything like that. Like he has to take him down, but I don't buy it. I think Floyd Mayweather fuck him up.
Okay, yeah, I was going to say before I go crazy here, let's try to talk about this realistically for a moment. If they did fight, CM Punk would be a lot bigger than Floyd. But okay, first off, does anybody on the panel think that CM Punk would actually have a chance against Floyd Mayweather? Like if they fought in MMA, say they met at like 160 where Floyd would be completely blown up and fat.
Yeah.
Does anybody think that he could get the takedown and actually like win that fight?
I don't. Max, do you?
Yeah, I think Mayweather would just read it and just uppercut him. Like there's just sort of some miraculous Hail Mary double leg. But other than that, yeah, I Mayweather will just read it before he even gets there.
Jesse, you give CM Punk a chance? Jesse? I think we lost him or he muted himself.
Yeah, right. There we go. There goes Jesse. All right. Yeah, no, listen. Exactly, right? I was surprised. I tweeted out and I got people kind of being like, oh, no, man, he's a lot bigger if he gets off. I'm like, yo, listen, it's easy to make fun of Floyd, but Floyd in those little gloves would be so fucking quick. He would fucking light goddamn CM Punk's nose on fire if he got within remotely close striking range. Like CM Punk would get knocked the fuck out by Floyd Mayweather. I pray to God they actually do this fight because Floyd will start CM Punk. I don't think CM Punk has a chance in that fight. Like, you know, like I said, if he fought Conor, sure, I get it. Like Floyd he don't know nothing about a leg kick, but CM Punk's not a fighter. The Brock Lesnar's not a real thing. Like this guy didn't wrestle collegiately. He didn't grow up doing BJJ. He don't know how to fight, man. Like he's not even like really a gym rat that's just kind of used to getting punched in the face from training and sparring all day. A guy like at least Floyd has that. Since Floyd was 6, he's been getting punched in the face in the gym and shit. He don't get punched a lot in fights, but trust and believe that Floyd's been socked in the face. Like if they actually get in a fight, Floyd Mayweather would kill CM Punk. But I still hope they do it. I mean, fuck it. At this point, the freak shows are abound. And what's it called now? Endeavor or whatever the fuck. Endeavor, like, yeah. If that's the way we're going, then fucking A, let's do CM Punk, Floyd Mayweather. Sell some fucking tickets, Jack.
Max, do you buy that? Because I mean, there's been a lot to say about these, you know, freak show fights and, you know, quote unquote super fights and all that. But the freak show fights, like a Mayweather CM Punk fight, which would be the thing. What's your thoughts on, first of all, that kind of fight, and second of all, this fight in particular, if it would actually be made?
See, I'm like one of the few people that enjoy stuff like that. I think it would just be like, because at the end of the day, it's all like, as much as people say MMA is a sport and I love it, it will forever just be entertainment to me. It's more like it's not just a sport, it is entertainment. And I think if it was only fights like that, then I'd get annoyed. But every now and then I don't mind a fight like that. I don't mind something silly. And yeah, I wouldn't put it past them genuinely doing it as well, especially, you know, the fact that WME or Endeavor or whatever, the fact that they are just a money-making machine. I would not put it past them to actually put Mayweather CM Punk together, genuinely.
That's a really good point too, man. Like if they did nothing but fights like this, then yeah, it would get annoying. But a fight like this every once in a while on a normal card with still some competitive fights, fucking A. Matter of fact, the people that are like, oh my God, it's ruining my sport. Stop being such a pussy. Again, if every fight was like this, then yeah, I can get it. But if they just do a fight like this once in a while, or fuck it, a fight like this, a card, who cares? Like, as long as 90% of the card is still competitive and legit, like, I'm all for it too. Fuck it. It would be exciting. and people are full of shit, right? Say they line that fight up. Say we see CM Punk, ex-wrestler, standing across the octagon from probably the greatest boxer of all time. Suck my dick if you don't tell me that's entertaining. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like when Conor boxed Floyd. Is it absurd? Sure it is. Would you miss it for all the stars in the sky? Fuck no, man. Like, you're going to tune in to see what the fuck happens. Stop it.
Yeah, no, you're gonna watch. And to me, the first CM Punk fight was a joke too. And he was even better when he did that, like shuffle, cock it back, got taken down. Like he didn't even get a punch off. It was fucking hilarious. So I would watch. It
was low key like the WWE. Like he did a little shuffle, went for one of these, and boom, he got the takedown. Like he almost gave it up and shit. And then Mickey Gall just thrashed him.
Now, the talk has been, and obviously the back and forth on social media been between Conor McGregor and Mayweather, right? So it takes away quite a bit from a possible Floyd to UFC thing if it's not Conor. I mean, I would understand why you wouldn't want to fight Conor. You know what I mean? But it's like CM Punk instead of Conor. It kind of kills the aura of it, maybe.
Maybe. But I mean, I don't know. Like, how do we feel about Floyd Conor? I suppose I would still watch that fight, but I don't know. I realistically would be a little worried for Floyd. That's just a different story. But you know what though, man? Conor's a cocky prick, and Floyd can so say they do Conor versus Floyd, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're all real MMA fans here, so we all know that one good leg kick and Floyd should be done. Worst case scenario, Conor shoots in for a sloppy double leg, gets on top of him, pounds the fuck out of him. But let's just say, for the sake of argument, Conor decides to test his little precisions and timing thing. I mean, could Floyd fuck around and knock Conor out in a quick exchange? He got rocked by Nate Diaz. I realized that was after he was tired, but if Nate Diaz can rock him with one good punch, I would imagine Floyd could too with those little gloves. And in a fight where Floyd's not trying to box conservatively, if Floyd came out and was being, trying to actually throw power shots and fighting in a different way, I mean, again, obviously Conor kills Floyd, but if Conor let his ego get the best of him, he could get stolen by Floyd, man. And just that idea, who knows? Maybe they make that fight in a weird world. I mean, that seems a little, I think Floyd's team is a little smarter than that, but I don't rule nothing out, man. And that's the real money fight. Like CM Punk versus Floyd would be cute, but let's be honest. If they did Conor versus Floyd, the rematch in the octagon, probably the biggest fight that combat sports can make right now.
And probably would end up for a third fight, probably back in boxing, right? I mean, I would think. I think Floyd would be like, no, I want that back. That back.
The only way they do a third fight is if it's like a mixed rules fight. Like the first round's in a ring and then they go to the cage. And after this, it's over, man.
First round's in the ring, then you got to run like a mile and then get back in the cage and fight and then run another mile.
Half a lot of fight in then they do like a BJJ set.
See, so that would be something to think about, to see Mayweather on his back, like trying to do like, triangles or X guards and shit like that. I don't know. But yeah, no, but I get to finish this up there, Max, with this Mayweather Floyd, or not Floyd, but the Conor Mayweather Floyd. What the fuck, Mayweather McGregor thing? Is it a bigger deal in boxing or in MMA? Because I mean, in boxing, we were all like, Conor might have a chance. Some people were. I really wasn't, but some people were like, if he lands a left hand, he's got a shot. In MMA, it's pretty goddamn clear that Conor would fuck him up. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think before the boxing match, I think an MMA fight would have sold more pay-per-views anyway. But especially after the boxing match, I think if it ever gets down to it, then I think they are going to make so much money from a pay-per-view with that. And think of all the people that tune into the boxing match, like, oh yeah, Conor has a chance, like you said, and then now they'd basically be 100% certain that Conor would win. So they'd all want to be tuning in. So yeah, I think it would sell ridiculous amounts if that ever came down to it.
Right. Let me tell you something. I think that this would do. The boxing match was bigger, right? because boxing is bigger. It has more of a tradition than MMA does, just generally speaking, with the world. This fight would do more buys, and I'll tell you why. Because everybody wants to see Floyd take a beating. And finally, you got a pretty good chance that Floyd's going to get that ass whooped in this fight. He going to at least get kicked in the leg or elbow. Like, Floyd's probably going to bleed if he has to fight Conor McGregor in an MMA fight. So all you Floyd haters, get those dollars out, because finally Floyd going to feel a little pain. But I'll tell you what, all bullshit aside, if Floyd's got the stones to do it, kudos to him. Kudos to him. If he fucking steps in the cage with Conor McGregor and swings and tries to fight him, even if he gets knocked out or gets taken down and beaten up or whatever, he deserves some respect, man. I mean, not many other boxers have done that shit. People talk. Lomachenko chirps. I mean, everybody chirps. The only one that really did it was James Toney. All due respect to him, but you know what I'm saying? He kind of looked like a bit of a fool, but he fucking did it. He was long in the tooth and fat and old and shit, but God damn it, you got to give credit where it's fucking due. Just like you got to give Conor the credit for boxing Floyd. Everybody knew he wasn't going to outbox Floyd, but God damn it takes some stones to put yourself out there like that. So if Floyd actually does it, especially against Conor, all due fucking respect to Floyd.
No, 100%. Real quick, just shout out to people in the comments. Raider Jabs here, Uncle Hank, Gun Death in the house. Frederick's in the house too. Yeah, man, we got a pretty good amount of people here going. This is funny. Frederick says it would be the biggest sell, the biggest MMA sell in history, regardless if I like it or not. What if Floyd lands with those little gloves though?
Right.
Now it takes balls. It's
right.
True.
I mean, it's doubtful, but like you can sell that narrative. Floyd's hands are going to be fast, and Conor's cocky. Conor might want to try to prove a point, and if he just gets cute for 1 second, the whole world could shift. God damn, can you imagine if Floyd did knock Conor out? Holy shit almighty.
Oh, dude, you know what? The biggest loser out of that, Nate Diaz.
Oh, yeah.
If Floyd finished him, Nate would be the loser out of that one because he didn't get to fight Conor to get his third, or to get that third fight. And it'd be like, well, fuck, Floyd just finished him. Like, you know.
Okay, you know what? I don't even know what we're talking about, but fuck it. Let's throw it out the window for just a moment. Let's segue to that just for a moment. What the fuck's going on with Tyron and goddamn Nate and Tyron's calling Dana White a liar? Who the fuck is Tyron Woodley fighting for the belt next? Have you heard shit about GSP Nate Diaz today? Luke Thomas was mentioning, like, what the fuck is going on with Nate Diaz? Who the fuck's he gonna fight? Is he even coming back?
People are just looking for something to throw out. I mean, especially because there's a slow news day today, so you just throw shit out there. I wouldn't want to see GSP and Nate Diaz because that would just not be a fun fight, honestly. But as far as Tyron Woodley, the word is RDA, right? Rafael dos Anjos in there instead of Nate, because just like you said, Tyron Woodley comes out, like, I'm fighting Nate Diaz next. Dana White comes out, calls him a liar. He's like, yeah, it's bullshit. He literally said that. He's full of shit. He goes, it's full of shit. He's not fighting Nate Diaz. And then Tyron Woodley, you know, going back and forth. First of all, not a good look to go back and forth with your welterweight champion. That is not a good look. You should not be doing that as a promoter. You know, that being said, it's I don't know, man, Max, who'd you rather see Tyron Woodley against, Nate or RDA?
Yeah, probably Rafael dos Anjos. Like, I love watching Nate fight, but I think he's an excellent boxer, but I genuinely think Tyron would slaughter him. Like, it's especially after seeing what RDA did to him at lightweight. Imagine what Tyron would do to him at welterweight.
Right?
To watch.
Dude, and honestly, like, RDA leg kicked the shit out of Nate, fucked his boxing style right up, and there went the effectiveness, right? Tyron Woodley, I'm thinking, would just power double leg him over and over and over again. And it would be just like every other fight where a wrestler takes down a Diaz brother and just kind of just holds him down. So that's I don't know. It's yeah, you're right. One of those things where I don't know. I'm not looking for a GSP fight. I'm not looking for a Tyron fight for Nate. But I do, Fred, you tell me what you think. I do like the RDA Tyron fight. RDA at 170 looks really good. Fred?
No.
Fred, you there? Did Fred freeze too?
Apparently so. Oh, what are they playing?
All right, well, I guess it's us two till Fred comes back. All right, well, fuck. There's Jesse. Jesse?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Oh, okay, there you are. I think you froze Fred though, because now Fred's fucking freezing.
Oh no! Exactly what Fred told me not to do. Damn it, he's gonna kill me.
Yeah, he's gonna come back with his, what the fuck? Anyway, well, okay. What do you think of this thing? All right, so again, Tyron Woodley, Dana White going back and forth. You're not fighting Nate. You're gonna. We want to make the RDA fight. What fight do you prefer for Tyron?
Well, I mean, I don't have my hat here today, but I rock RDA. SoCal guy, other connections with him. So yeah, I definitely want to see RDA just because of what he's done in that division so far. He's just looked so amazing at that division, and a lot of people really counted him out, thinking that he was undersized. And you see the difference, man. You see he just looks better, healthier. So in my opinion, yeah, let's see the RDA fight. Yeah, the Nate Diaz fight sounds pretty awesome, but man, it doesn't even make sense ranking wise or anything wise. We haven't seen Nate Diaz in such a long time, and he'd be moving up to 170. It just doesn't make sense to me. So I'd prefer that RDA fight for sure.
All right, I mean, well, fair enough. We got the. I'm gonna go to the comments real quick. Fred says, "Damn, my connection is slow as of right now for some reason." Gun, it says Frederick said that, not Fred Kirby. And then Gun Death says Ohio has bad everything. When Fred comes back, I won't let him know. Uncle Hank said bad internet in Ohio, and then Gun Death says Ohio has bad everything. So anyway, yeah, fucking, and then Gun Death's getting crazy over here. Anyway, so
hey,
what up?
Can I mention something real quick? I don't know if you're gonna talk about it a lot, but hopefully, Max, you saw Eddie's beautiful video that he put out, or audio podcast that he put out. What was it, yesterday?
Yeah.
Comedy Errors. Was it yesterday?
Yeah, we're gonna talk about it at the end of the show, though.
Oh, okay.
Cool.
I just want to make sure. I just want to make everybody, if you haven't had a chance to check that out, if you don't understand when somebody comes into your life and when they mean something to you, Eddie really has some really eloquent words. And Max, I hope you got to listen to it, because I got to meet Andy a little bit. I didn't have the relationship that Eddie here had, but man, those are some powerful words. And if you guys haven't checked it out, please check it out. Eddie really pours his heart into that, and it sounded like he was about to cry. So, just for that, you got to listen to it as well.
That's one of those things, man. We'll talk about it at the end of the show for sure. I'll let you know about it. But we'll talk about the end here. But Fred, you're back. You good?
Yeah, I fucking guess. I don't know. I fucking can't stand technology.
No, here's the funny thing.
Damn.
You dropped off, and fucking Jesse dropped on, and I was like, oh, Jesse, you fucked him up.
Fucking poisoned me.
All right. So real quick, your thoughts on RDA Woodley?
Whatever, man. I mean, I suppose that's the.
Oh, no. Here, real quick. On that reaction right there, is that the reaction people get about Tyron Woodley? Just whatever, man.
Generally speaking, I think so. Yeah. I mean, I think it would come down, the opponent helps a lot too. And I'm RDA is a beast, but for some reason, I'm just not. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not that excited about RDA versus Tyron Woodley. It's a good fight. RDA probably deserves it by merit, but am I stoked for that fight? Not particularly.
Let me ask you guys, after listening to Woodley on the JRE podcast, does that make you more kind of interested in his fights now, seeing how cerebral he is about breaking down his opponent and just how he's good at implementing game plans? Does that at least entice you a little bit more into his fights, or is it just because Tyron Woodley is Tyron Woodley and you just don't care?
The second one.
Well, okay, is because I've seen people that are Tyron Woodley like super fans. They exist, believe me. Tweet anything bad about Tyron Woodley, one of them will fucking find you. But a lot of people say it's not his fault that he's seen that way. I don't agree with that. Like Max, what are your thoughts on Tyron Woodley? Do you see that when I'm talking about, like, is it, you think it's the promotion kind of making him look bad, or is it Tyron Woodley making himself look bad to the fans?
Oh, there's the MMA fans are terrible, aren't they? Like, they are.
Yeah.
Like the whole the UFC aren't promoting me because I'm black and all that jazz. I think most white MMA fans are like, oh, what you saying? It's like, well, if you aren't in the position of a black man, then you can't make the decision whether they feel oppressed or if they feel repressed or if they feel like they are being, they are feeling some sort of prejudice. But I think, I think a lot of it is himself. I think before the Wonder Boy fights, everyone wanted to see him. After what he did to Lawler and after just dropping people left, right, and center along with his like wrestling, I think everyone wanted to watch him. And after the Wonder Boy fights, and yes, it's like everyone says. I'm just repeating what everyone else says, but he's just playing it safe and he just wants to keep it low. And I think to his own detriment because no one really cares anymore. Like they're just like, well, you're just going to play it safe, and maybe I don't know. GSP did that. But I don't know. There was just something different about GSP. Like
he was white,
Canadian. So yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, it matters, doesn't it?
But you're right though. Listen, I'll admit it. I'm a normal MMA fan. I'm a what have you done late for me lately fan. Lately, your last fights have sucked donkey dick, Tyron. So until you turn that out of the mud, I'll be that casual, not casual, but that predictable, bitchy MMA fan that's going to bitch about your last 2 or 3 fights. Also, Tyron Woodley's career has been littered with bad performances. He got snuffed out by Nate Marquardt and Strikeforce. I ain't forgot about that when Nate Marquardt looked like he was in Mortal Kombat on you. Nah, I ain't forgot about that, Tyron. Also, he got snuffed out by the Red King. He didn't get finished, but he lost that fight to Rory McDonald. That also took a little steam out of his sails. Then he did go on to finish a bunch of fools, but then he capped that off with, I will say, all credit where it's due. The first fight with Wonder Boy was amazing. The second fight with Wonder Boy was so bad, it took all the shine away from that first fight. And then he fought Damian Maia, which, all due respect, is a hard fight to look good in. So, all things being equal, he has had a little bit of bad luck in his opponents and shit, but, listen, if he had knocked out Wonder Boy in that second fight and then knocked out Damian Maia, I think I'd be excited for his next fight. I know it's kind of a cunty thing to say and not really fair to me, but goddamn it, I'm the one putting my money out. I'll take whatever I want.
But see, that's the thing. What he's saying is that he's not being promoted because of his skin color, right? Because he's black. Yet, did you see the lead up to the Stipe Miocic and Francis Ngannou fight?
And that's the point people are making in the comments right now. Is Uncle Hank says Francis got a lot of promotion.
Unless I'm colorblind, it seems to me like he's also a dark-skinned person, but his fights have all been exciting leading up to that performance against Stipe, and even that fight was pretty exciting because you thought, hey, he could still land one of his punches, knock out Stipe and become the champ of the world, right? So to me, it's what Fred is saying. It's his performances and also like kind of his attitude, As soon as he got the title, he said, well, I'm going to do, money fights. How does that work? How do you become a champion who's grinding away, one of these contenders knocking people out, and then right away you're like, no, I just want to do money fights. I don't want to fight the contenders. Even though eventually he did. He kind of shot himself in the foot before, he even got through all this.
It's funny that you use that expression, shot himself in the foot, because as you were talking, it just dawned on me. Listen, Tyron, somebody cut a little segment out about what I'm about to say here and send it to Tyron. This is what needs to happen. You know what Tyron Woodley needs? He needs to get shot.
Oh, dude.
Listen, like a rapper. He needs to join a gang. Tyron Woodley becomes a blood. He gets a little bit of real street cred behind him. He gets shot in the thigh. All of a sudden, fucking the whole urban community's behind him. He becomes the new Kimbo Slice. He gets a gold grill. He starts talking shit, smokes a little weed. I'm only partly joking. He's boring. He's boring. You know what I mean? He's like John Jones before John Jones started being John Jones. He believes in Jesus and shit. He's hanging out with Sage Northcutt. Get the fuck out of here. You're from fucking, where's he from? Fucking St. Louis or some shit?
No, he's from Ferguson.
Yeah, he's from fucking some hood ass place, man. Let's go. Where's the gold teeth? Where's the chain?
Yeah.
Fucking give us something. You're boring, low key.
Yeah, fair enough. Real quick, Raider, to close this one up, Raider says, where the hell was he even coming from saying he wasn't being promoted or taken care of because he's black? Bullshit. He's been getting a lot of opportunity in the UFC, in my opinion. And honestly, that's true. He's been doing UFC tonight and all this other stuff. So, I mean, the opportunity's there. It's just
that was kind of my whole point with the whole getting shot and joining the gang thing. The reason they promoted Francis Ngannou was because he was fucking homeless in Paris 4 years ago. That's a hell of a story. Tyron Woodley, you're from a shitty city, but you know, where's when you got shot when you was 15? Where's your fucking story? You're boring. Where's your brother that's in the joint?
But do you think sorry to jump in here, but do you think that it's more that because a lot of people ask like how come the black community doesn't get behind him? Why don't they get behind Tyron Woodley? And do you think it's because he kind of packaged himself more as kind of like at least Tyron, in my opinion, he kind of tries to package himself more like kind of whitewash, like very, very like low key, very like, not like with a lot of jewelry, not real like out there, not really outspoken, but more like really calm, humble, like to me, it just seems like black people are like, nah, he's not one of us kind of deal. It just seems like the black community would get behind a guy that's from Ferguson, got his family out of there because of everything that was happening there. Yet he was still doing a lot of community work there. Yet it doesn't seem like they get behind him. Like, why is that?
I think I don't think they really feel like he's one of their own. And don't get me wrong, I could be speaking out of turn. Tyron Woodley is from that area, and he probably is one of their own. But I don't think he resonates with them like that. Clearly, he don't. Listen, who has been the biggest fucking black fighter of all time? Okay, I'm sorry, I should not say that. Black MMA fighter of all time.
Kimbo Slice.
Kimbo Slice, man.
Kimbo did it.
And let's be honest about it. The reality was, and I'm not saying this is right, but it's just facts. It was his image. It was because he was huge. Yeah, fucking a gold grill and was from Miami. He looked like he knew people that would kill you. Now, whether he did or not, it doesn't matter. He gave off that image. You're right. Tyron Woodley does not really give off. Even if he does know hitters, he doesn't. Maybe if he does have that street side of him, maybe he should show it a little more. If he does have cousins or in prison or that was involved in gang activity, tell us. Like, he does come across a bit boring as being a black man from the hood.
There you go. All right. Real quick before we move on, Raider says, hide under the cage for 8 hours from USADA. Everyone would love him. And then Uncle Hank says, Fred's onto something. And Gun Death replies, Fred's onto something, all right. Cocaine something.
Listen. I'll bet you if Tyron Woodley got caught smoking some pot with a couple white bitches, his stock goes up.
100%. 100%. I hate to say he's right.
Go up in my fucking book.
Yeah, and Hank goes, Tyron should move to Stockton. There you go.
Swear to God.
Yo, you imagine that Tyron Woodley training with the Diaz brothers all of a sudden and his rep just explodes? That'd be crazy. All right. Let's talk about this last weekend main event. Romero against Luke Rockhold. And Romero, first of all, Romero misses weight. And I know I was the first one to go on there going, oh, fucking course he missed weight. And now he wins this fight after missing weight. And he gets the title shot according to Dana White. I get it. Short notice fight. Totally get it. You know what I mean? That being said, he did win the fight. He does have a title shot. First of all, Max, you watched the fight?
Yeah, I caught it the day after. Yeah.
What were your thoughts on the fight itself?
Yeah, it was sort of a typical Romero fight, wasn't it? Like, the finish was nice, but yeah, I just can't get on board with a Romero title shot. Like, maybe that's just because I dislike him, but I mean, eventually I'd like to see it, but I think at the moment I'd much rather see Whittaker versus any of the other three that are sort of floating around him.
Yeah, no, and the thing with you all, and that's the thing with you all. A lot of people just don't like him. Like, you know what I mean? And that happens. That seems to happen more and more every day. They just don't like him. That being said, that was a violent ass finish, man, and that's what the UFC loves. Dana White saw that. I'm like, yeah, fuck the weight thing. Well, just whatever. Well, we're just under the rug. Who gives a shit? Title shot. Like, he gets his rematch, and Max, last time Whittaker beat him pretty well. What are your predictions for this next one?
Yeah, I think just more of the same. I think no matter how good Romero is, I think age sort of is a big factor, and Whittaker can just take it sort of because what round did he damage his leg in?
Oh man, last time the first, I think first or second.
First round, wasn't it? And he
first round blew it out.
Yeah, soldiered through that and took him to the end of the fight. And I just think Whittaker's too tough for him. Genuinely, I don't think he can impose anything on Whittaker. And that's like the type of thing that Whittaker needs. I think he needs someone that can just like outwork him. And I don't think Romero can do that.
Yeah, I honestly don't think Rockhold would have either. But especially not the Rockhold that fought on Saturday. But yeah, Fred, with your Romero coming in here again, all fucking great. First of all, and Frederick makes a good point. He's a short notice, but yo, look crazy fit. He's always in shape. How you're 40 years old and in that kind of shape? I don't know. Go and snitch. Get working. But that being said,
fucking there. God damn it. I accuse everybody of steroids. Don't you think you're getting away from it, Yoel? Fucking 47 years old, and they look like they just shit you out of a laboratory. Get the fuck out of here.
He doesn't look real.
Cut that last fucking 3 pounds. He's fucking shredded. Have you seen that fucking guy?
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here. Roided out of his mind.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Look, that was a great performance, right? Like it was typical Yoel in that, like, he always starts off a little lackadaisical and just kind of waits for that right moment, and he's so explosive that when he does pounce, Jack, unless you are Robert Whittaker, which has been one of the more unassuming title run, like, I just remember him getting snuffed out by Wonder Boy. And then I swear MMA is this weird sport where it's like something will happen. He gets beat by Wonder Boy. And at that point, I kind of wrote Robert Whittaker off. He moves up to 85, wins a couple fights. I don't think much of it. Wins a couple more. Knocks out Jacare. Beats Yoel. Who the fuck is this guy? Like, he just keeps not losing. So I can't imagine that this fight looks that much differently, right? Like, when was their first fight? Last year? Early last year?
Early last year, I believe.
Yeah. For my money, and nothing for styles or nothing, but like this fight kind of reminds me of the rematch with Jose Aldo and Max Holloway.
Okay.
Just not enough time in between, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, what can Yoel really do that much differently? The only thing I think Yoel can do differently, which obviously it doesn't seem like he wants to do or is willing to do, is kind of just jump on Whittaker immediately. Like, explode on him in that first round and try to just not give him a moment to catch his breath, because if he gives Whittaker a moment to start getting in that rhythm, we already know what happens. Whittaker's really good at not taking the kill shot. Maybe that beating that Wonder Boy put on him taught him a little something, and he gets hit, but he seems to always avoid that big one. And then he always is just, putting out his little bits of punishment. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely. So. Jesse, Yo Romero going in to get a title shot. Did you have a problem with him getting a title shot, by the way?
No. Although I think it was very convenient that right away they came out with an excuse for him, like pre-packaged, right? Like, oh, well, it was last minute, so yeah, we won't worry about that. Like, it was real quick for them to cover up or kind of like brush under the rug that he missed weight. And yeah, I guess you could use that as an excuse, but then, let's say it's like Cyborg or any other, or a Tyrone Woodley or somebody else that's not in the good graces of the UFC. I don't think that it'd get brushed under the rug that easily for that. But I honestly think that you guys, I don't know about you guys, but I was listening to Frank Mir talk about this fight, and I went back and after hearing his take on it, and I agree with what he said, that to me it looked like Romero has finally figured out what kind of body engine type he has, basically, where he's not really an endurance guy. He's more of a, he's going to explode and then he's just going to wait for you to do something. And when you go back and watch this fight, you can see that he's much more patient. He's not pushing to try and make something happen. He's more, just waiting and kind of stalking and kind of saving up his energy for a big burst. And then he'll go back to his mode. And to me, it seems like he's kind of learned that that's basically the way he has to fight these fights. Instead of like in that last Whittaker fight, he was trying to push the pace more. He was trying to, really get that fight moving instead of having Whittaker come to him. And I think he's kind of learned that after all these fights. So I think it'd be a little bit more of an interesting fight this time around. And honestly, I think, like Fred said, 47-year-old Romero, because we know the Cubans lie about their age. They don't even know when they were born. So, he could be 40, he could be 50. Who knows? I think this is his last shot at a title, and I think he'll make good on this one. I think it'll be a good fight.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping he was going to make weight for this last one so he could at least have a belt. Because, I mean, the one thing I like about Romero is that he's like, I'm not going back to Cuba until I'm the champion. And I think this interim belt would have been like the perfect time for him to do it because I don't think he beats Whitaker, man. I think that fight's going to be more the same. I mean, Whitaker stuffed takedowns with a blown out knee for 5 rounds with a blown out. That's difficult. It's hard as shit. So, I mean, unless Romero comes out with the fuck it, I'm going to go balls out in the first, round and put him out or get put out. I don't see how you can try and beat him in 5 rounds, but you never know, man.
Let me ask you guys on your take on Rockhold's performance there, because I feel like I don't know about you guys, but I feel that Rockhold is the best guy in that division, hands down. Yet now, 3 performances in a row, he's just not showing that potential. Do you guys think that the outside, him becoming a male model, him trying to do all these other things, do you think that's interfering with the Rockhold that we should be getting?
No. Mm-mm. I think you need to take Rockhold's nuts out of your mouth. I too used to think he was the best middleweight in the world, but him getting socked in his face so many times has proved that his striking defense leaves a lot to be desired. So I think as far as offensive firepower goes, you're right. I think he's fucking got the kicks. He's got decent hands. He's very aggressive with his offensive jiu-jitsu on the ground. If he gets on top of you, he's a nightmare. But to be the best, you can't be getting knocked out. And his striking defense, he gets punched in his face too much, man. He's a super talented guy, but the best in the world don't eat that punch.
And here's the point on here on this, and Max, what you think about this? I think Michael Bisping took his confidence, like ripped it out of him and kept it, because Rockhold getting knocked out against. Look, when Rockhold walked into the cage against Michael Bisping, right, to defend his title on short notice, 2-week notice, something like that, right, goes in there on no notice pretty much, and Rockhold walks into the cage nonchalant, like, why do you guys even bother me coming in here to beat this guy? Really? This is the best you could do? He had that kind of shit attitude. Goes in there and gets knocked the fuck out, gets embarrassed on pay-per-view for the entire MMA world to laugh at. I think his confidence left him that day. And that fight against Branch was just like, I think it was just, whatever. It didn't really mean anything. And I think he came into this fight with no confidence whatsoever, especially once Romero landed on him. What do you think of that, Max?
Yeah, I was just about to say that. The fact that he he's not a good talker anyway, but I think what his words don't match his mind at all. Like after that Bisping fight, and like I think 2015 Rockhold would have absolutely murked Branch. Like I think it would absolutely destroy him. Like it would have been KO within like 2 or 3 rounds, and then you see that fight and it's just not who he used to be. And I think the overconfidence and then getting slumped by Bisping and just how he's been fighting recently, that is not who Rockhold was before the Bisping fight. And yeah, it was just all downhill from there. Genuinely, I reckon so.
Yeah, definitely. In the conversation real quick, Frederick says, Rockhold isn't the same, not sure what happened. Raider replied with, I think he's cutting too much weight too fast. The last 2 fights, he's looked dead after weigh-ins. And he really did. He looked on some Conor McGregor 145 shit. Yeah. And then Uncle Hank says, Rockhold went down the same road as Ronda. It's a good point. And Liam says, making me chuckle remembering it. the Bisping fight.
But how about this guy? He's been absorbing those left hands, and Bisping told him that his striking defense leaves a lot to be desired, especially that he drops his hand, after he counters and stuff. So, I mean, it's out there. I mean, it just seems to be the same type of technique that catches him every single time. And now that he's working down in Florida with, I think it's Henry Hoof, right? That he's working down there instead of AKA. Do you think maybe his striking will improve, or do you just think that this is a Rockhold that we need to see at a different weight division and maybe a couple months removed or maybe a year removed from this fight, reinvigorated? What do you guys think?
I don't know, dude. I think he's look. Once you lose your confidence, it's kind of it. I don't. I think he's done. Not done. Okay, he can still fight, but the champion attitude, that kind of swagger you got to have that he had, I think it's gone. Fred,
I think there's only so much shit you can work, right? Like he can maybe get a little better, but everybody's not going to have the reflexes of Floyd Mayweather. Everybody's not going to have Francis Ngannou's power. Homeboy might just not have the best motherfucking hand-eye coordination, man. He might always have, you know what I mean? Like he might have to implement a more offensive wrestling strategy. You know what I'm saying? Maybe give up the idea that he's such an elite striker, because when he gets you down and gets on top of you, I ain't seen nobody get out from underneath him yet. So if he could have struck with Yoel just enough to get him down one time and get on top of him and fuck him up a little bit and sap some energy, maybe he could beat Yoel Romero. But like on the feet, he's a good striker, but his defense is questionable. You know what I'm saying?
No, I'm with you on that.
Now hold on, wait, quickly, goddamn it, hold on.
Yeah.
Before we get off of this goddamn fight, I don't give a shit about any of that, to be honest with you. The most interesting thing about this whole goddamn fight for me was afterwards, when Yoel started in with the hugging and kissing. I want to know everybody's opinion on that. So, first off, let me just get off on this shit right now and say that I fucking hate that shit. Even when like a guy subs a guy out and he gets up and he fucking grabs him and he hugs him a little bit, whispers in his ear, "It's okay, you'll bounce back from this." Get the fuck off of me. Yeah, what are we in Boy Scouts? You just cost me hundreds of thousands of dollars, and especially with Yoel, you just fucking thunderstruck me in the face like 45 seconds ago. Get your fucking lips off my cheek. I don't believe in Jesus Christ, and I fucking hate Cuba. Fuck off. And then I see so many people fucking, he meant well. Fuck what he meant, man. What are we fucking playing, like fucking baseball? Don't fuck off away from me, man. When we go to the middle of the ring, I'll fucking shake your hand. I'll give you a dap. Moments after you get me fucking knock me out or submit me, I don't want you hugging me. Like, all jokes aside, what, shouldn't there be something there? Like, and you know, you've seen the memes where Luke's looking like, I mean, I would have like low-key Paul Daly'd him. Fuck it. Win. Whoa, bitch, I won. Fuck it. On my way to Bellator, motherfucker. Stop kissing me. Did that bug anybody else? Like, was anybody else just looking at that cringe and going, somebody get him off of him, man. He don't want Yoel hugging him, clearly.
I thought it was weird. I was just like, I mean, okay, hey, maybe wait till like after a few weeks when you meet up at like the, you know, at another pay-per-view, like do a little quick hug, like, hey man, you all right? Cool. I thought it was weird, but again, I come from that jiu-jitsu community where you have a lot of sportsmanship afterwards. I've had my arm pop. I mean, Jesse was there when my arm fucking popped 8,000 times, and I still gave the guy props. I wanted to punch him in the fucking face, but I didn't. All right, but I understand what you're saying, man. I get what you're saying.
Whoa. That's you. That's cool. If I lose, it's on me to give you props. Get away from me if you win.
Okay, that makes sense.
Like, you're not my fucking uncle. You're not my sensei. You're not my coach. I don't need you to tell me it'll be better. You just sub. Get the fuck away from me for a minute, man. I'll shake your hand, but like they sub them and you see it all the time. Guys will sub guys and they get up and they like rub them behind his head. Am I your fucking nephew or your little? Don't coddle me. Like, get off me, man.
That's a good point. Max, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I thought the same thing. You just see the look in Rockhold's eyes. Like, I don't know if he was just dazed because he was concussed, or if he wanted to carry on fighting. But yeah, that was whenever I see that, I cringe a little bit as well. Like, I think just leave him to it. Like, you just slaughtered him. Like, it's essentially insult to injury. I know it's a nice thing to do, but it genuinely is. It shows that you just sort of daddied him. And I don't. Yeah, it just sort of makes you cringe when I see that.
I mean, Rockhold had this motherfucker like look on his face, like, really?
You nailed it. It's kind of like insult to injury. I know that people don't necessarily mean it to be, but it is kind of like you're also hurting their pride. Oh, you'll get it next time, little buddy. Good try.
Yeah. Well, Jesse, you there?
Okay. Hey, I'm here. Wow. Okay. Good thing I'm going last, and hopefully we can move on after this topic. But I just found it sweet. I mean, it's one of those things where I like the sportsmanship when two guys, like can come to an agreement. Like Max Holloway, he points at the center of the octagon. Let's throw down. They throw punches at each other. Nobody falls down, and after that, they give each other hugs, props. Like good fight, good punches in the face. I enjoy this stuff. So I know Fred's about to rip me, and you wouldn't hear
not the same thing, Jesse. Like that example's not the same. Nobody lost in that.
Well, somebody loses in those fights either way. But what I'm saying is, like, I understand. Like, you have to understand, Latins are very emotional, lovey-dovey people. So even if you get into a fight with somebody, you get into an argument, like you want to just be like, we're cool, right? Like, we're fine. Like, it's all love, whatever. And that's just his personality. So you look at like how he calls out people, like Michael Bisping. He loves Michael Bisping, right? He's calling him out to fight, but he's like, I love you, Michael. Like,
I love you.
That's just him, man. That's just who he is. You just got to take it for him. Now, if you start seeing everybody do it, now that's going to be a weird trend. But it's just him. I have nothing bad to say about that. Good on him. What you're doing?
We will get off of this topic in just a second. But Jesse, you can suck every centimeter of my cock, because Yoel Romero also is known for jumping out of the fucking cage and stepping around the goddamn octagon. He's not kissing and hugging everybody. He was being fucking cute with that shit.
Yeah,
he was being cute. He don't hug everybody with the Latin thing too. That was cute pulling that race card like all you Latin pricks are just lovers. Get the fuck all the way out of here with that shit.
Oh shit. Oh man.
Take him from my Cuban brother. What do you want from me?
There you go. Real quick, Raider says sweet is just wrong, Jesse. It just sounds wrong. All right. Real quick, still on this card. To me, I think most impressive, honestly, the most impressive fighter in my opinion, or at least most impressive to watch, was the last Airbender. Israel Adesanya. I know good and goddamn well. Max knows exactly who the fuck that is. What do you think of his fight?
Yeah, that was incredible. Like, I think I think he's only a blue belt in jiu-jitsu at the moment.
Yeah,
and I know that does, not necessarily to do with wrestling defense, but I think give it another. I reckon he'll be fighting for the title by like end of next year at least, or at latest. I think. Like how many takedown attempts was it? It was like 15 takedown attempts or something.
I'm trying to see. 15. Wilkinson only landed 3 of 15. Yeah,
like and that's I know he sort of his last fight was it Melvin Gaillard, I think his last MMA fight was.
I believe so.
Yeah, I think so. And so before that he wasn't really fighting like the highest level competition, so you wouldn't expect his wrestling defense to be top level, but after that and seeing that he can sort of I know 3 out of 15 isn't very good at all, but I think he still needs to work on it. On his wrestling defense, but yeah, I think that finish was beautiful as well. He just wore him down, and it was like a Rory like broken nose situation. Like he just didn't want any more of it. He was just in too much pain, and that pinpoint accurate striking from such a good kickboxer as well. Like he's people are going to be running from him.
Oh, and he said it himself. He said 4 people turned down this fight. I give this guy props for taking the fight, but I thought I laughed my fucking ass off when Wilkinson, because he was bleeding, he indirectly spit on him. He wasn't trying to spit on him. Yeah, he just tried to spit it out. But he got him and fucking, and Airbender looks, motherfucker, fuck him up. I'm like, oh shit. Damn, that's the wrong move, Wilkinson. You fucked that up. But Fred, the post-fight interview, I thought was brilliant on part of Israel. I thought it was great. He said everything he needed to say, and he's charismatic as fuck.
Yeah, I mean, the dude's got everything, man. Listen, here's the thing, man. I was just sitting here thinking about this too. The UFC is doing a lot of different things as far as matchmaking goes. They're trying to do these super fights or whatever the fuck. I think what maybe they should start doing is if we're going to throw away the idea of something, let's throw away the idea of trying to test people's skills. Like, fuck it. let's give this cat strikers, right? Let's try to find high, eventually he's going to fight a wrestler, but not right now. Let's not give him another wrestler. Let's give him somebody he can shine against. Let's make fun fights. Like, not to jump around or nothing, but just to get off this for a quick minute, because I'm kind of curious what y'all think about this. Mark Hunt and Curtis Blades.
Yeah.
Okay. That fight went about like what I thought it would went, and it fucking sucked donkey dick. Like, first off, I'm not impressed with Curtis Blades. I'm sorry. I know everybody else is. I know everybody thinks it's some great thing that he picked Mark Hunt's fat ass up and threw him on the ground. But I think Curtis Blades' striking defense is fucking garbage. I think he's awkward. He's a big, strong dude that's a good wrestler, but I'm not really impressed by him. And I just think that Mark Hunt, at this point in his career, why are we wasting his fights against wrestlers? Are we trying to see if he has wrestling? He doesn't. He fucking doesn't. Put him in there against somebody that's going to try to strike with him so he can have some fun fights, man. Like, if we're going to just say fuck some shit, let's say fuck the idea of trying to have these interesting style matchups. Fuck it. Let Damian Maya fight fucking, Colby Covington or other grapplers. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, in that regard, RDA versus Tyron Woodley would be a pretty good fight because stylistically speaking, they'll match up well. They'll have a fun fight together. Like, start making those fights, man. Give the young kid some strikers so he can watch him fucking develop and have some fucking fun. Don't put him in there with a wrestler that's going to make the fucking fight boring next go around. You know what I'm saying? He's got all the star power in the world. Let's fucking ride this train up a little bit. He doesn't got to get a tomato can, but just give him somebody that's going to make for a fun, favorable fight matchup.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you give Mark Hunt any more of his wrestlers, dude.
Yeah, why? What are we proving with that? Why? What the fuck?
He's 40. He's only got a couple good fights in him left, probably. Like, give him someone that will strike back with him. Shit.
Yeah, for real. Goddamn.
Seriously.
So we want to see Mark Hunt and Francis Ngannou, huh?
Oh my God, I give Mark Hunt a good chance in that fight. I don't give a fuck what anyone says.
Has Mark Hunt and Derek Lewis fought? Am I just tripping? Have they fought before?
No. I think Mark Hunt beat him up, didn't
he? Yeah. I think they fought. That was his last fight, Mark Hunt's.
Did he not?
Or at
least was it a good fight? Am I tripping?
I think I missed that.
I think I did too. Like,
I'm pretty sure they did. Let me make sure for you.
Wasn't it the Black Beast that he fought? Or
because I feel like that would have been a really good. Were they supposed to fight and it got canceled or something? Like, because I feel like that would be a money fight. You know what I'm saying? For Mark Hunt, like a fight where somebody's gonna stand and bang with dude. How could those two dudes fight and me not remember it? Like, that had to have been a slobber knocker, right?
Let me make sure. Yes, he did. He TKO'd him in the 4th round.
Okay, well then there you go. What the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Fights like that. What the fuck?
Well, I think Fred, the other thing is that you also have to take into consideration is that Mark Hunt has become kind of a gatekeeper at heavyweight. And I think I think you're right. I think with Mark Hunt, we need to give him fun fights, kind of like Rampage wanted towards the end of his career, right? He said he's done with wrestling. Or Pat Barry as well. He didn't like wrestling. He just wanted to strike with people. And I get like some of these guys that just want to have great, exciting striking matches or whatever. But I also think that if you're the caliber of a fighter like Mark Hunt, it's kind of hard to get somebody to strike with you. And especially if you're what ranking is he? I think he was 5 in the world, right?
Yeah.
I think they have 5 or something. So I mean, it's kind of hard because then you're also going to build some nobody, because that's probably what you're going to end up getting, right? Like some nobody that's not in the top 5, not even in the top 10 sometimes, against a top contender like that, and then they're going to build their name off of a guy like Mark Hunt. So I think that's the other dangerous thing. But I see what you're saying. Maybe have these guys that, in these not so important fights, because I mean, this was an important fight for Mark Hunt, right? Like, I mean, if he won this fight, can you imagine now he moves closer to another title shot, and that could mean a lot of different things for Mark Hunt. So I think it's 2 problems that we have there.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that for sure. What else did I want to talk about in this card? Was there something else on this card that we want to bring up that was like noteworthy? Fuck.
How about what was it? The leech driving his whole
that bullshit, dude. What do we have to do? What do they have to do? What does he have to do? Does he have to have homeboy's eyeballs in his hand, like fucking like out like this. Like, what does he have to do to get fucking points taken away?
Who was reffing that fight?
Oh fuck, I'll find out. Shit, that was some fucking bullshit. Conveniently, of course, UFC.com don't have it. But still, while you guys look at what you guys talk about it, but still, what the fuck, dude? That was some bullshit. Like, I felt real bad.
I don't remember watching it live. Well, probably because I was hammered and I wasn't watching it live. But did they show the replay during the fight? Him doing that, or is that something that just started? Because I think I just saw it on like Twitter afterwards or some shit like that, like some post-fight show. I didn't watch the fight live. Were they showing it like to the point where the ref could look up on the screen and see him fucking doing what we saw?
Dude, the ref was standing like right there. Like,
yeah, but you know what I'm saying. But sometimes,
Jesse.
No, and the ref actually went up to him while he was doing it, kind of moved his hand away from or his arm away from his eyes. So I mean, he saw what was going on, but I don't think he had the right reaction to what was happening. I mean, damn, like you hear the expression knuckle deep, but damn, that was as close a representation as you can get to knuckle deep.
Your thoughts there, Max, on that?
Yeah, that was terrible. Like it wasn't even sort of what do you call it? Oh, I can't think of the word now for some reason. It wasn't even like disguised. It wasn't even disguised in striking like Ponzinibbio and Gunnar. Yeah. Like it wasn't like, because you see the photos and it's literally like Jess said, it's literally like knuckles deep into his eye. Like it wasn't even disguised. It was like you're just on top of him and you're just gouging him like blatantly. Yeah, that was really, really bad. But I think they should have taken a point straight away. And I think until you do take points straight away, people are going to keep doing it. And I know everyone says, "Oh, it shows a will to win if you're cheating." And I'm just like,
who said that? John Jones? What the fuck? Like,
well, have you guys listened to Brendan Schaub talk about it? He said his coach told him to.
I'm taking a break from Brendan Schaub, right? I fucked up and I listened to the JRE with Schaub yesterday, and I wanted to bash my own brain in. I was like, dude, come on, man.
But I think it was on that episode he said that his coach told him if he ever gets in trouble submission, stick his finger in the guy's opponent in his butt.
Oh yeah, he did say that. He said oil check him. Yeah, because they'll take a point worst case, but you'll get out of the shit position. So it's a good point. It's fucked up. That's fuck, but it's a good point. All right.
Yeah, great. I wonder if that's what Tyson's fucking coach told him right before he bit Holyfield's ear. Listen, shit goes south, just bite his ear. Only worth a point or two.
You guys coked up. The ref on that was Mark Simpson, so it's not even anyone knows.
Yeah, well, clearly, old Mark Simpson doesn't understand what getting poked in your eye fucking can do to the fucking complexion of a fight. What the fuck?
Pretty much. All right. If that's all we have on that one, let's just talk about this weekend's card. UFC Austin, headlined by one Cowboy Cerrone against Yancy Medeiros. Two guys that really don't give a fuck. That should be a fun fight, Fred.
Yeah. Okay, but hold on. Let me talk about something else real quick. I know we gotta wrap up relatively quick here, guys. But James Vick was on the Noses show this week. And he was complaining that he ain't fighting Cowboy in the main event. This is his one of his, well, I think it's like 2 hours away from his hometown. Yeah. He's got a very great record in the UFC. He's got some wins over some big names. I think he's coming off of a knockout win over Joe Duffy, right?
I want to say, well, he used to be undefeated and he lost. Let me find out where who lost.
Yeah, but he lost a while ago. He lost to Benil Dariush. Fucking that prick's last name. But that was a while ago. He's won a bunch since then. And he was just bitching that he should be in the main event against Cerrone, and he's fighting fucking Trinaldo like 3 fights down or something. So I thought that was kind of interesting and almost felt like he had a pretty good point there. Not to clown Yancy Medeiros in any way. Yancey's a beast, but
yeah. Joe Duffy's his last win.
But let me ask y'all. So let's start this discussion with that question. Which fight would y'all rather see? Donald Cerrone versus James Vick or Donald Cerrone versus Yancy Medeiros?
I've been stoked about his Medeiros fight since they announced it. I mean, Yeah, I mean, look, just to put everything out there. I'm a big time Yancy Medeiros fan. Like, I love watching Yancy Medeiros. He does not give a fuck. You know what I mean? He throws a lot out there. That being said, I like that fight better because he's striker and striker. But I see James' big point. I see his point. But a lot of guys turn down fights against James. They turn it down straight out.
Well, I think that was also part of his point. He's like, God damn it, give me my shine. We're in my hometown and shit. Like, I'm fighting Trinaldo. Like, you could argue that Trinaldo's a step down from fucking Joe Duffy. Not a major step down, but I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, at the very least, it's one of these. It's not a fucking jump like Cerrone would have been. And they're in Texas.
Yeah, and look, I think he's giving Trinaldo because it's like, all right, just put him out, put on a good show, and then let's see where we go. But it's up to him to beat the shit out of French Trinaldo, and then use that post-fight interview. Yeah, you know what I mean, to make a mark. So I think that's just gonna have to happen there.
Okay, so Donald Cerrone, Yancy Medeiros. What happens if Donald loses? Is he on his way to Bellator?
Nah, he's too much fun.
Damn,
I think it's too much fun.
He's been losing a lot. This will be 4 in a row, I think.
Didn't they just release somebody today?
Will Brooks.
Will Brooks, yeah. You're the one that mentioned it, right?
Yeah,
so,
they released him.
I don't think we'll lose Donald Cerrone. I don't think we'll ever lose Cowboy. I mean, unless he loses 7 in a row. Because remember, Dan Hardy was on a 6-fight losing streak before he beat Dwayne Ludwig? Was it 5 or 6 that he had lost in a row?
It was like 5.
Yeah, but he was always in exciting fights. It was always, he was a guaranteed good fight. So I don't think. But I agree with Fred, actually. Surprise, surprise. I think James Vick should have been in this main event. Yancy Medeiros is, as Fred would say, he's cute and all, but his level of opponents just isn't as good as James Vick's opponents have been as of late, and the way he finishes the fights and just how exciting he's been. If you've heard him on interviews before, he just feels like he doesn't get the push, and it's because he's kind of a nice guy. He doesn't really talk too much, and he's kind of been getting out there a little bit more. But I mean, I think it's going to be a little bit longer before people warm up to him a little bit more and feel what he's doing before he gets that push. Like you guys said, hopefully after a good performance, a good knockout this weekend, maybe he'll get that push that he deserves.
Yeah, and also this fight's at 170 and Vick is at 155. So I mean, Vick can take 175 without a problem. And I get his point again, but I honestly rather see Medeiros Vick. But I don't know, Max, what are you thinking, that Vick or Medeiros for Cowboy? Better fight.
Yeah, I'd prefer to see Medeiros or Mediaz.
Yeah, pretty much.
I like him. He's a great fight. Like, who was his last fight? That really, really good bout against Oliveira.
Yep.
Yeah, that was amazing. That fight was excellent. That alone is enough to set him up for the Cowboy fight.
I think that's why he's got the Cowboy fight. MMA is very much what have you done for me lately, and his last fight was dynamite. So I think that is absolutely what it was. Although finishing Joe Duffy is nothing to sneeze at either. But Medeiros' last fight was one of those. That's one of those fights that'll be on one of those goddamn UFC compilations 10 years from now. You know what I'm saying?
People thought it was fight of the year right after it happened. So it's it's definitely up there. All right. And no other really big fights on this card. Co-main is Derek Lewis against Marcin Tybura. Obviously James Vick Trinaldo. Thiago Alves is back against Curtis Millender.
Yeah, let's see if he makes it to the fucking fight.
If he makes it. Steven Peterson coming in against Brandon Davis. And one Sage Northcutt against Thibaut Gowdy, which actually should be a pretty fun striking fight, if I remember correctly. Gowdy's a bad motherfucker on the feet, so that should be a pretty good one. Other than that, I mean, it's a look, man, it's a Sunday card. You ain't got nothing else to do. Ain't no Super Bowl, ain't no football anymore.
Yo, Bellator's Friday. What do we think about that?
Oh man, that's
Meathead and Roy Nelson rematch.
Dude, we get to find out if Roy Nelson's got anything left. Does he have one more overhand to put on Meathead? Because Meathead can be knocked out, but if you don't knock him out, he's coming after your ass. If he was sloppy as all fuck, but he's coming after your ass. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. I mean, look. Fair enough. My pick before the tournament even started was Mitrione going to win this whole shit. You know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, Chestnut might fuck around and get crazy, but I highly doubt it. You know what I mean? Like Mitrione, I think he's gonna win this shit. But Max, this is like two veterans of MMA locking up in a heavyweight, in 2 real heavyweights, right? The last fight wasn't real heavyweights. The Son and Rampage Jackson was 205ers at best. You know what I mean? What do you think about this fight?
Yeah, I like it. I think it's good. Yeah, I followed Mitrione since which Ultimate Fighter was he on?
Oh, dude, I don't know.
Yeah, long time ago.
Yeah.
Like because before he was in Bellator, he hadn't even had a single MMA fight before UFC. He literally debuted in UFC. So I've been following him for ages. And I really like him. I think I like seeing his progression and stuff. And yeah, there's not that much of an age difference between them, is there? Between Nelson and Mitrione?
I don't think so,
Not
man.
that much. I think Roy's 40, 41, and I think Meathead's like 38, 37.
Something like that.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, I like Mitrione, and I think like the one bad thing, as much as I love Fedor, like the fact that you can sort of get dropped by him. I know he stops him,
man.
but the fact that you can get dropped by a decrepit old Fedor, I think there's always that chance that Nelson could just one-shot him. But yeah, I think Mitrione's definitely. I'd put my money on him to win the tournament probably.
Yeah. And we've been waiting forever to see Roy Nelson's jiu-jitsu. We've never seen it. It's always been overhand right. So I'm assuming it's always going to throw that overhand right repeatedly until it lands, hopefully for him. But I think Mitrione stays at distance and just works him out. So anyway, Jesse, what are you thinking there? Jesse? Oh, he's okay. All right. Well, there you go, Jesse.
I'm starting to think that Roy Nelson's jiu-jitsu is like these people who get like the Brink security sign and put it in their yard, but they don't really have the security. They just put the sign in the yard. Like Roy just tells people that he's really good at jiu-jitsu, fearing it and shit. Like paid Henzo to say that he got his black belt.
Bro, how are you gonna have that belly that big and you're that flexible? I don't make any fucking sense.
True.
Like, I mean, unless you're like a sumo wrestler, then maybe, but even then. All right. All right. So just like Fred said, Bellator Friday, you got EBI Saturday for jiu-jitsu fans, and some boxing. Is it Aaron Garcia? No, what's his name? Mickey Garcia. Mickey Garcia fighting on Saturday, which another good fucking fight. And then UFC Sunday.
Is Groves and Eubank Jr. this weekend as well? I think that's gonna be a good fight.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, I think it's this weekend. Is that Saturday too?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah,
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Man, and I'm at my friend. My teammates are all fighting at a tournament locally. I'm at that shit all day, so I'm gonna have to catch everything on replay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's Jesse's gone. So yeah, it's a combat sports fans fucking weekend. So have at it, fellas. I guess the last couple minutes of the show here, as you guys all know.
Oh,
well, that was great.
I want to know what's coming now.
Right when he was about to fucking do the outro there, he fucking disappears.
Typical.
Okay, well, we'll give him a hot second to come back. I think I know where he was going with that. So, and listen, Eddie's good. He's a fucking crafty Mexican. I guarantee you right now he's got his phone and all kinds of shit up and running. He'll be popping back up here before we know it. So I won't step on his toes just yet and deliver what I think he was fixing to deliver, but we'll give him a moment here. What time is it over there, man? Like fucking 2, 3 in the morning?
Yeah, 3:45.
4:45. Jesus Christ. You and your old man are animals for fucking
like you used to do
this. Yeah. So he was
do
crazy with it. What the fuck? He would stay up and watch all the fucking fights every fucking time. And what you guys are 6 or 7 hours ahead of us on the East Coast here in America?
Oh, I think maybe
5 or 6. 6, I think, maybe.
Yeah, 6. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes, yeah, 4:45. Yeah.
Motherfucking real quick, Jesse, fucking give me a virus. That son of a bitch.
There we go.
Sorry, what were you saying?
Just killing time till you got back.
Yeah,
He was just fixing to go into it, and I'm like, I know what he's about to go into, but I'm like, so, Eddie's a crafty technological Mexican. He'll be right back.
Yeah, I figured it out. Anyway, as some of you know, and some of you don't, because I know a lot of people are new. Max is son of our great friend Andrew Reed, who was with us on a bunch of shows. And the funny thing is, the thing that Jesse was talking about is I do this show. It's like audio only. It's only on iTunes and SoundCloud and all that. I don't put it on YouTube. and it's like a personal like audio vlog of sorts, right? I just talk about whatever the fuck is messing with me or whatever like I'm thinking about like at that moment. And I remember, like, because I remember the day and everything when you let us know what happened, that your father passed away. And for some reason I just felt like I had to say something about it. So you guys want to go check it out. It's on SoundCloud and iTunes at Keyboard Warriors MMA. But it's funny because the other day I was like, I mentioned to Fred, I was like, man, like this is coming up Tuesday. It's like the 1 year of Andy, and it's just like, man, that's gotta be, it's kind of relevant. And it was funny because the question I asked Fred was what's like something you took away from him, like that you learned from him and everything that you still do today, right? And besides trying not to butcher the English language for me was because I swear to God, he would say sometimes he wouldn't even wait till we were off the show. Sometimes he'd DM me later, like, by the way, mate, this. Like, all right, cool, whatever, man. But it's he gave me so much shit. I went to a concert one time and I had my fucking phone out like a fucking dipshit, and I was like watching it through my fucking phone and putting it on Twitter. And I remember he tweeted me like, "Put the fucking phone away, you deaf cunt! What are you doing? Don't be a twat. Watch the concert. Put the phone down." To this day, since that fucking day when he gave me so much shit on Twitter for that, I have not pulled my phone out when I'm somewhere. Like I have it all up here. Like if someone else is taking pictures, great, go for it. You know what I mean? But to this day, I have not pulled my phone out ever, dude. And it's just like, and it's funny because every time I go somewhere, like anything I do, I go where it's like a show or whatever. I think about it. I'm not pulling my phone out, and I think of your dad, dude. Legit, every fucking time with this shit, every movie too. Like I was watching Jumanji. Because I took my girlfriend and the kids and we went to go see Jumanji, and I was like, oh my God, Andy would destroy this movie, just rip it to shreds. He would hate this shit. He gave me shit for watching it. You know what I mean? I know he's a big movie buff, man. So,
he used to give me shit for just breathing.
Oh man, but yeah, dude. And then like all the music shows, I still like I've up until like I think I'm doing maybe like 3-4 months ago, actually longer than that. I still replayed some of those. The musings of Three Idiots, because it was just different how that dude thought. You know what I mean?
Yeah, channel up burning Donald Trump. I listened to that.
Dude,
Christ alive!
At the end of every show, your dad was just going off. Like, take him out.
He called it. I remember the first show we did together. He was like, this dude's going to fuck around and do it. And I was like, calm down, English. You guys are getting all riled up across the pond. This motherfucking shit ain't going to be real. And then bigger than fucking shit. He called it, and it fucking all came to fruition just like he fucking said it would.
He was clairvoyant, I swear. He predicted UFC being sold. He predicted Trump being president. I don't know how he did it.
Dude, he predicted Holly. He was the only one that called Holly Holm knocking out Ronda Rousey. I was just like, get out. Ronda's gonna find a way to clinch and judo throw her ass on her fucking head and submit her. Fucking, please believe seconds after that fight ended, your dad was tweeting me immediately. Yeah, and it wasn't any words, just laughing. Just always ha ha ha. A bunch of shit. He got a kick out of that. But like, I don't know. I don't want to like get too personal or anything. But like, what a year later, like after a year of reflection and everything, and how it went down and everything, like how do you feel these days about it? About him?
Yeah, sort of like it's sad. Like I attribute like my going back to college to him and stuff like that. Like I wish I could have done it when he was alive and could actually see me with a bit more drive and some goals now. But yeah, I attribute that to him. I think the worst thing is the fact that I've had an entire year without making memories with him in them. Because like every time I do something, I go back to his house or I go and see him or I call him or whatever, and I'd like tell him about what I'd done or like just little things. Like I just read something. And I'd read a book or I'd read something on the internet, and then I'd tell him about it, and then we discuss it for hours and stuff. Like so that's a bit sad. But yeah, I just try and make comedy out of it wherever I can. People are sort of quite shocked that I laugh about it a lot because it's exactly what he would have done. Like so. But yeah. Other than that, I just sort of if you couldn't laugh, you'd cry. So I like to think of him being a dickhead and him being a grumpy old bastard. So
no, he was, man. He was a great motherfucker, man. But and I remember like with Fred, with you doing all the shows with him with him and Aaron, Like you get to know like a whole different side. Like I got to know him just when we were talking on here and off air and on like Andy's and my DMs like are fucking extensive. Like you can write a book off of that shit. I would hit him up all the fucking time. But you had like conversation where you got to see like a whole different side to him, man.
Yeah, man. It's interesting how you can form bonds with people through social media and through this shit. Like Andy was one of the first people. It's weird calling him Andy too. English was one of the first people that not one of the first people. All of y'all kind of were. Even Eddie. Like we all kind of almost like met right around the same time on Twitter with this whole MMA thing, man. And I wasn't even really big on technology and shit. I was just kind of getting hip to using all this shit. And I was always kind of one of those cats that was like, I don't fucking trust people on the internet, and everybody's all weird and strange, and I don't trust people in my real world. And I didn't think that you could really form bonds with people like that, man. But I got to know English. We started doing shows together. Like you said, just DMing and shit. Like one of the coolest things about English for me, especially for me, I feel like I've always been a pretty genuine person and a, quote unquote real motherfucker coming from where I come from and the way I was raised. I like to speak the way I feel and to put myself out there like that. And not a lot of people are actually like that. And, a lot of people thought English was a dick or he was cunty. And to a degree he was, but also he was just very honest. Sometimes he'd be, getting a laugh and fucking, he used to fuck with me all the time and he would fuck with his friends. But generally speaking, he would just call it like he saw it. And a lot of times that hurts people's feelings, but it's the fucking truth. And there's something very liberating in that. And there's something very liberating in talking to somebody like that who has those thoughts of like, you know what I'm saying? Like talking about religion or about Donald Trump. He would be aggressive about those things, but they were things that he felt like he was right about. And he probably was. So, might come across cunty, but it's the fucking truth. And it's liberating to be around somebody like that makes you want to speak your truth. That's a big fucking thing. And not very many people are able to actually do it. So that was one of the real cool, inspiring things for me about getting to know English on all that shit, on all those platforms. Let me tell you something. All the podcasts we did, all the DMs, none of it was lies. Like none of it was bullshit. None of it was hyperbole. And I'm going to tell you something, Jack. There were times I thought it was. Me and English would smoke and talk and shoot the shit. And I'd be like, man, you've done some wild shit, Jack. Like, fucking stories about Jamaicans and shit. Like English has lived. But I knew English for a long time. Quite a few years. We had a lot of DMs and we had a lot of conversations, on air, off air. And the stories never changed. You know what I mean? Like you can always tell somebody's truth in the long run. Like people that are full of shit, their lies always catch up to them. And the people that aren't, they never do because they're not lies. You know what I'm saying? And you always knew that all the shit that he was saying was true, man. So yeah, it's sad, but morality's a motherfucker. Like you just have to, we have to deal with it. And the only thing you can really do, as Max said, as the keep from crying, you try to laugh. It sounds cliche, but it really is the only thing to do. We can all have a good cry and drink some whiskey and get into our feelings. And there are times for that, but otherwise it's better to try to think about the good shit and try to think about the shit that we can learn from him and the funny things. And, at the end of the day, we want us down here crying like a bunch of sissies. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I would want. When I'm gone, I want my friends to remember me, man. Yeah. Remember the good times with the shit that we learned from one another and shit. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's crazy that it's been a year, but it definitely, there are times where it feels like it hasn't been that long. And then there are times where it feels like it's been forever. You know what I mean? Like I'll look back and be like, damn, like I couldn't get away with tweeting some shit without English jumping on me. Yeah. But if it's great. Okay. You know what? You asked a question earlier. Yeah. What did you learn from English? I learned a lot of shit from English, but you know what I really learned from English? This is no shit. And I tell you what, I think this would actually make it. He never gave me compliments on fucking anything, but I think the poor prick would actually give me a compliment on this. I know how to spell your now. I spell it. I fucking tell you what, for years, that motherfucker would jump on me I don't give a fuck if it was 2:30 in the morning my time. If I was hammered and tweeting something, if I used your wrong, he'd always throw that fucking RE in.
Oh,
and now I know.
RE.
You are is YOURE with that little fucking line on the top. And if it's your shit, it's YOUR. I fucking spell it properly now, even on Twitter, and that's because of English.
That shit was fucking great. Jesse, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
What about you, man? Your favorite Andy memory?
Man, honestly, like I was saying earlier, I kind of feel sad at the fact that I didn't get to be as close to him as you guys were, because again, plug in your show, Eddie, of your Comedy of Errors. Just hearing how close you guys got, and the emotional impact that he had on you guys, just makes me jealous. So I got to know him just through the show, and we would just kind of shoot the shit about MMA. He got me to, really, the thing he got me to do most is appreciate more of the striking game. I think I was more of like a Just Bleed UFC fan for a while, and he really got me to just look at the nuances of the striking, and just really kind of become kind of a snob for it. I really look at what people think is good striking in MMA, and I just kind of put my nose up to it and go, yeah, that's nothing. That's not really striking. And that's what Andy gave me. He gave me a greater appreciation for something that I already loved. And like I said, I'm just jealous that you guys got to get more out of him than that. And that's what I got from him, a greater appreciation for striking. He is a good guy. I really miss. I think the thing I miss the most is that every week I was always eager to hear his take on something that had happened too. That was probably my favorite part. I always wanted to hear what his take was going to be, because I knew it was going to be unique every single time. So,
yeah, no, definitely. I remember he made me promise to scream out as loud as I could elbows at UFC on Fox. I think it was 13. The first JDS Stipe fight. He literally goes, "You better scream as loud as you can." So like a fucking idiot, I did, and he's like, "I don't know if I heard you or not, but I'm gonna pretend I did." He said, "He's like, I think I heard you."
I was watching that event with him. We did actually.
Really? Oh, fuck yes! I didn't know that. That's fucking sick. I did not know that. Okay, the effort was worth it. That's good. All right, boys. Anything else you guys want to hit before we head out of here for the night?
Nope. I think that about does it, man.
All right. Well, you guys know all the Twitters. You guys know all the sponsors. We had a hell of a fucking time tonight. Thanks for joining us, Max. Thank you so much for taking time out. I know it's like 3:30 or 4 in the morning, not for you, but so good morning. But we're talking to you from the past, apparently, and appreciate you coming on, man. I really do. Anytime you want to come on, dude. All right, and then of course, Fred Kirby, Jesse Rokama, I'm Eddie Law. Appreciate you guys, everyone in the comments. You guys are the shit, and good night, Wilshire.